Hello everyone. This is the video for Unit 9, and we are talking about living in cyberspace on page 98 and 99 in the book. Let's start over here on page 98. Here are some of the vocabulary, and this is just for pronunciation. We have Coliseum, suggested, Boston, chatting, and chow. That's the end. That's the end. Let's go to page 100. Very short one. Okay. On page 100 and 101, let's talk about the goal is to troubleshoot a problem. In this video, let's go over the vocabulary. This is talking about parts of a computer. So we have a monitor, a screen, a mouse, a touchpad, a pull-down menu, a toolbar. Toolbar goes this way. Pull-down menu goes up and down. And this is number 7 is a scroll bar. Scroll goes up and down your screen. Okay, so here are some very common commands. So number A is open a file, save a file, print a file, close a file. Okay, we use a mouse. We click on an icon. So we call these icons. E is a cut text, copy text, paste text. Okay, I here we select or highlight a text. Okay, so we select and highlight a text. So this is a highlight. This here, okay, this is a cursor. Oh, sorry, I missed that one. This is a cursor, and if we go up, we scroll up. If we go down, we scroll down. So that would look like this. I'm scrolling up this section. I'm scrolling down this section. Okay, the grammar section, we're going to talk about the infinitive of purpose. An infinitive can be used to express a purpose. I scrolled down to read the text. It's a short way to say I scrolled down because I wanted to read the text. Put the cursor on the toolbar to choose a file. So put the cursor on the toolbar if you want to choose a file. This is just a short way to say a longer sentence. Also, answering a why question with an infinitive of purpose is similar to answering with because. Why did you click on that icon? To save the file before I close it. So, or you could say, why did you click on that icon? Because I want to save the file. Because I want to save it. Why did you highlight that word? To select it so I can copy it. Or you could say, why did you highlight that word? Because I want to copy it. Okay, so we use infinitive and to plus a verb, right? To do, to be, to jump, to read. Okay, so here's some examples. I went to KFC to eat some chicken. I did my homework to make the teacher happy. He practiced the piano to become better. Okay, very simple. Let's give you the homework section. Homework here is for 20 points. It's on page 101. Please do part C. We're going to use this list here this is Kathy's to-do list. So complete each sentence in your own way. Use infinitives of purpose. Don't forget to, I'm sorry. For part C, we will not use this section here. I'm sorry, my mistake. Complete each sentence in your own way. Use infinitives of purpose. Don't forget to click on the save icon to save your document. Okay, so we're going to use some of the vocabulary here. Sorry, my mistake. Okay, so please complete this homework for next time in class. Okay, that's the end here. Let's go to page 102. We're going to compare product features on page 102 and 103. Okay, so we're on this page here, 102. We're going to do comparisons with as. We can use as to express similarity. We use as with an adjective to indicate how two things are equal or the same. Use the adverb just for emphasis. So they mean the same thing. The new speakers are just as good as the old ones. The iFriend tablet is just as nice as the F40. Now, these are using fake things, so it's kind of hard to understand. So I've tried to make this a little easier. So we use this as the same. We don't have names for these guys, so we're just going to say number 2 and number 5. Okay, so man number 5 over here is as tall as, if we're looking at this line, man number 2. You can see they're the same. They're both on that black line. You could also say man number 5 is just as tall as man number 2. Okay? You can reverse, because it's the same, you can reverse it, right? I could say man number 2 is as tall as man number 5. It doesn't matter. Okay. We use the verb almost, use the adverb almost in affirmative statements to indicate that two things are very similar but not exactly the same. The Zeta B is almost as fast as the Panasox. Okay, this is a better example. Man number 5 is almost as tall as man number 3. So we can see right here, he is above the line, and he's right on the line, but it's very close. Okay, so we'll say man number 5 is almost as tall as man number 3. When we talk to express difference, we use not as to indicate how two things are different. Use not quite when the difference is very small. Use not nearly to indicate that there's a big difference. Our new printer isn't as noisy as the old one. The G4 isn't quite as expensive as the Z90. The Panasox isn't nearly as affordable as the Zeta B. This is hard because it's, what are these? We don't know. Okay, so here's another one. Man number 1 is not as tall as man number 2. Okay, if we want to reverse it, we also have to change the word. So depending on the adjective that you use or the adverb that you use, we have to change things. So man number 2 is not as short as man number 1. So it can change. Okay, let's do it. If we use isn't quite, it's a small difference. Men number 1, 2, 4, and 5 are not quite as tall as man number 3. See, even I think this guy's the shortest one. It's pretty close. Okay, if you look at their eyes are almost the same. So they're not quite as tall. It's a very small difference. Okay, so men number 2 and 4 are not quite as tall as man number 3. Okay, or you could say man number 3 is not quite as short as men number 2 and 4. Okay, if a big difference is isn't nearly. Okay, so here's a big difference. Look at how this is quite a bit different. So we say man number 1 is not nearly as tall as man number 3. Or we could say man number 3 is not nearly as short as man number 1. Okay, and there's one more thing at the bottom. You can use shortened statements with as when the meaning is clear. The old monitor was great, but the new one is just as good. Is just as good as the old one. Have you seen Carl's new laptop? My laptop isn't as nice. Okay. Okay, so here's some practice. Read each statement about a product, write the sentence with as, and the cue to compare the products. Okay, so here's the cue, right? This one we're going to use just, this we're going to use almost, just, 5 is not nearly, and 6 is not quite. Okay, so look above in the grammar box. Okay, use this as a model to help you. Okay, that's the end of this video section. Go to page 102 and 103. Looks like it's this one. Okay. Here in this section, we're going to describe how you use the internet on page 104, 105. We're going to visit a website, surf the internet, join an online group, post a message, attach a file, upload a file, share a link, download an application, send an instant message, look up information. Okay, so visit a website, you go to a website. This woman, she is surfing the internet. These people are in an online group. Okay, if you post a message, right, people are talking, you post. With an email, a lot of times we attach a file. If you're uploading a file, you have seen this icon before. If you want to share a link, okay, we share, download an application, send an instant message. Here are some instant messaging apps, and look up information. Most of the time, most people are using Google, right? Just Google it, like poor Einstein here. Okay, that is the end of that's the end of this section. And the next section, we're going to discuss the impact of the internet on page 106 and 107. Here are the vocabulary words. We have hackers, identity theft, computer virus, junk email, antivirus programs, criminal, cyberbullying, bully, criticize, and suicide. So a lot of these are going to be in the homework here. But some of these here, we have a bully here, right? These guys are bullying this guy. This would a little bit different than bully is criticize, telling someone that they have a problem. And, suicide is if you kill yourself. Okay, your homework on this page is on page 106. It's for 10 points. Read the section above here and match the meaning, match the vocabulary word with the meanings over here. And that is the end of this section and the end of this video. So thank you very much. Do your homework. See you in class.